or maybe one of my little I make these at home. I keep this little plastic cup. I know you're not supposed to drink out of plastic, but this makes me feel like, I've gone to town and got myself a coffee. Hello, dreamers, believers, and bucket list retreaters. Welcome back to Bucket List Retreats, the podcast. I'm your hostess, Kelly Morgan Murley, and I am so grateful to have you here again with me this week. I hope your week is going fantastic, and that if you are listening, it means that you have got a moment to maybe pop on your ear pods, go for a walk, or get something done around the house that you're not maybe looking forward to. I know you hear me talking about it all the time, but I love podcasts and audiobooks. It is just so handy when you are doing something that you're not really wanting to do, maybe, but going for a walk this time of year, hopefully where you're at is beautiful. I would think even on the other side of the world, say in Australia or something, it should be a really nice time as well. So get out there. I've been trying to do daily walks ever since my ankle went bad back in the summer. It's been a long journey of getting back to those walks, but I'm so grateful to be back at it. Last Friday, we went on a gorgeous hike. We have some new friends. We are semi new to the area. So we have these friends that took us on a hike out to a beautiful canyon where we saw petroglyphs that were just amazing. And I was so thrilled that my ankle made it the whole way. It was about 5 miles round trip. And we walked out to this canyon, went down in it, and looked at the petroglyphs, went back and forth. It's so fun when you have a local or someone who knows where they're going take you, so you don't have to worry about it. I just love that because usually I was telling him that I am the one usually with the little map and making sure that we're going the right way, but he knew exactly where we were at, so I didn't have to worry about that at all. And it was a smaller canyon here in northeastern Arizona that ran into a huge canyon. And so when we got there, we just parked really right next to the canyon, climbed down, played around there at the bottom for a little bit, looked at some petroglyphs, and then hiked up the other side and then walked over to this other huge canyon. And we came across a building that was built, it looks like a really long time ago, but you can tell that people have tried to keep it up. So it does have some modern siding and stuff attached to portions of it, but it's right on the edge of this amazing cliff looking over this canyon that in the very bottom of the canyon, you could see huge cottonwoods growing up, but they weren't even anywhere near the top where we were. So you can imagine how deep that canyon was. I didn't look yet to see how deep it really was. So then we went back the same way we came and going up and down that canyon again. So I kept laughing about how it was a rim to rim and a rim to rim hike because if you have ever heard of anyone that hikes the Grand Canyon, a lot of times people will do what's called a rim to rim. They'll hike down one side, over and up the other side, and then back again. And they call that a rim to rim. It's a huge hike. I think I would guess at least 40 miles. I think it's a 20-mile hike down and back, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I probably am, but that's what I'm thinking in my mind. So I have a group of friends that have done that every year. And I've always said, hey, let me know if you need a driver or someone at the top to have pizza when you get there. But I am not a person who would want to do that. I would love to hike down to Havasupai Falls in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. You have to get a permit. I'm totally in for that, but I'm just in no hurry. I am not a fast hiker. I love to hike, but I'm not in, I'm just not a fast hiker. Luckily, the leader that we had on this little trip was really patient with me. So he's a really fast hiker and much, no, I hate to say much older than me, but he is in his 70s. I am in my early 60s, and he can just out hike me any time of day or night. So, anyways, what a fun trip that was. I totally loved it. But really, I was so sore. I hate to say, but really, the next 2 days, I was so sore, and I just really feel like I'm back to where I was before I took off. So I'm really going to work on that. It was the front of my thighs that hurt. I guess from the climbing, which I didn't feel like we were climbing that much. It was quite simple. So I'm upset with myself over that. But I'm going to work on that. You wouldn't know it today because I'm sitting here with a chocolate chip cookie. We had our new mantle. I finally got a mantle. We have a new home that we built, but we just now got the mantle installed today. And we had a little crew out here and I knew they were coming. So I'm like, hey, great excuse to make a batch of chocolate chip cookies. So that's what I did. And they were so happy. I know how men are in the morning. They're always hungry. And I think they were thrilled because they took the remainder of them on the plate with them, which was absolutely fine with me. What a beautiful mantle they made. This is all out of steel and it's been powder coated and it matches our fireplace. So it really looks nice. And the living room looks so much different having this beautiful mantle, but perfect timing finally for the holidays. And then one of my books that I have on hold at Libby, which is the audiobook app. I hope you're using your Libby app. You have to go to your library and get a library card and you enter that in the Libby app. So it allows you to download free audiobooks, but they don't always have the books you want. Or if it's a popular book, it might have a lot of people in line ahead of you. So you just have to do it. So I had the book, what is it called? One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune pop up that she was available. So you only have 14 days to read it. So I try to grab them and then listen to them as much as I can whenever I'm doing those mundane things I was talking about. And today in One Golden Summer, it cracked me up because obviously I'm into lists, being with bucket list retreats. I got such a kick out of her in this book, the main character. In the book, she just quickly is deciding that she wanted to have an amazing summer. And she just jots down this list real quickly of things that she wanted to do in her summertime. Let me just read it to you. Number one, jump off that rock. She was sitting there on a lake looking at a big rock and had just seen some kids jumping off it and really wanted to do it herself. So that was number one. And of course, one of those girls was wearing a skimpy bathing suit. So number two, wear a skimpy bathing suit. Number three, read a smutty book. Number four, throw myself a birthday party. Number five, kiss a cute guy. Number six, take one good photo. Uh, Number seven, make a bunch of bad art. She was a photographer. Number eight, learn how to do a backflip off the dock, front flip, or an elegant dive. Number nine, take up a water sport, paddleboarding or water skiing. Number 10, go skinny dipping. Number 11, make a new friend. Number 12, do something reckless. Number 13, ride a jet ski. Number 14, glittery makeup. Number 15, put on that green dress. We all have that green dress, don't we? Or, a dress. Number 16, I'm going to skip. Number 17, sleep under the stars. Tell me in the comments what would be on your summer list. And then I was also listening to Amy Poehler's podcast, Good Hang, and she had on Kate McKinnon. Oh my gosh, I miss those two so much on Saturday Night Live. They both looked absolutely gorgeous with their blonde hair and their blue eyes. I really was mesmerized by the two of them. They are so beautiful on the outside, but really you can tell it's coming from the inside because they're so smart and so funny and just super enjoyable to listen to. So immediately when she comes on the podcast, Amy asked Kate, she asked her, her first question was, "What is the deal with God?" or something along that line. Kate says, "God is gone. We are doomed." And I know it is just, a sad thing to say, but it just made me giggle so much because really that is what we are all feeling right now. And it leads perfectly into retreating, doesn't it? So many of us want to get away. And Kate goes on to talk about her homestead. So she was in New York City for 20 years. 10 of those years were on Saturday Night Live. And now that she's done, she just wants to retreat. I totally get it. Of course, having done the same thing, I moved off grid out of town and really rarely leave. My husband does all of the shopping if possible. And of course, you can order online. So I get what she does. And I understand the need for retreating. Of course, that's what we talk about here on this channel. I'll put a link in the description to that podcast. On today's podcast, we are talking about taking an assistant or someone with you on retreat if you are planning on doing a retreat yourself. I know that many people, myself included, when I first started, looked at a retreat and thought, hey, that is something that I can totally handle. And the reason I thought I could do that is because I had already been assisting with my girlfriends putting together girls' trips. I had been helping organize book club trips, and I really felt like I could handle a retreat on my own. And then I did do that. I think my first three were all by myself before I started getting some interest from a couple of people that wanted to go with me and work with me on the retreat. But you've committed 110% to this retreat, to this business, to these people. You'll do whatever it takes to give them the best, most transformational trip ever. But I'm not going to lie, you really can't do it on your own. But you don't need another person to babysit either. What do you need? Well, I'll tell you. You need someone committed like you. You need someone who completely understands how much they will be involved and where you need them to be in the retreat. Are they a full partner, a paid employee, or a 1099? Will they sign a contract? Will they back out? We're going to get into all of that. I'm going to tell you some really good ideas on working with other people. I highly recommend it. But first, as always, it's retreat news and reviews. It's the item that has been recalled that so many of us use when we are traveling that I thought it was really important to mention. Neutrogena wipes. I'm going to put a link in the description below to this story about Neutrogena wipes that so many of us have in our travel bags that we take on retreat or traveling. They work so well. And I mean, seriously, have we not used these for years and years and years? But apparently they've been contaminated with some sort of bacteria that can cause horrible things, even sepsis. So if you have them, I would just throw them away. Look for an alternative. I do have a couple of alternatives that I love to bring. One is just a washcloth that washes out really, really well. And you don't even need anything but water to wash off your makeup. That's the best thing because it wrings out so well that you can almost pack it the same day as you use it. I love that thing. Another piece of news that I wanted to talk to you guys about is miles. I talk about miles all the time because it makes retreating affordable. Many retreats cost $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And if you can put flight on your miles and not have to pay for that, it really helps you get to the retreat. There's so many things that I do to save money for travel. Someday I will have to do a podcast just on those things. Miles is something that you can do usually if you have good credit and if you are buying things on a regular basis. I put every single expense I can on my Miles credit card and get 1, 2, sometimes up to 8 miles, 8 points for each dollar I spend. And how to use and book those miles can really get you awesome things. Like, okay, what are some of the things I have used my miles on? Business class or first class is my number one thing. Now, I will not use my miles to fly around the United States where I live because usually the cost is affordable and the amount of time you're traveling, 3 to 4 to maybe 5 hours if you're going clear cross country, it's hardly enough to waste my miles on first class on those short trips. I save first class, or what I refer to first class all the time is really business class. But I save all of my miles for business class and international flying and use them when I'm flying a long ways away. But there's some real tips and tricks when using your miles. So I wanted to introduce you all to this really cool video that does a really succinct job of telling you how miles work. The Daily Drops description of how miles work in the description. Watch it when you can. It is going to teach you exactly how to work with these credit cards because it is something that will take you so far. Now, some of the fun things that I have done with my miles, of course, flying first class to Bali on ERA Airlines, that was so magnificent. My daughter and I flew first class to Europe the first time we went to Europe way back in like 2006. I have got some amazing rooms. I got a beautiful room really high up overlooking Hong Kong when I was there in a 5-star hotel. It was just so bougie and so nice and more than I ever would have spent with my own cash, if you know what I mean. And then I did the same in London on the way back from Egypt 2 winters ago. So we stayed at this really nice boutique hotel. It wasn't that big. It was just fantastic. And I paid for that with my miles. And I encourage you all to click on that, watch their video that tells you all about how miles work and see if that's something you want to add into your travel portfolio. Daily Drop also has a paid app where you can go in there and put in your miles and they will help you look for the best first class tickets out there. It is worth your time and money, I guarantee you. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. Welcome to the podcast office. Today we are trying to avoid the sun. It's 3 p.m. and I know the shadows are headed my way like they were in the last video. It was awful. I totally apologize for that. I am sitting here in my podcast office. Over my right shoulder is my granddaughter Ayla's dot to dot book. I'll put a link to that in the description. Her new joke book is coming out soon. We have had so much fun working on these books. Just fantastic. So if your little, what are we, 6 to 10-year-olds on that book needs a good dot to dot coloring book, it's so good, you guys. We did, 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. So kids learn how to count and their ABCs, and it has like missing letters in there for words. And really just a lot of fun while they are learning. And of course, it's a coloring book too. So once they're done, they can color in all the little doggies. We have so many breeds of doggies in that book. Ayla is a real doggy lover. Okay, today I am so excited to show you this retreat that we are going to review, but it turns out that it is not just a retreat. I ran across this when I typed in retreat news in Google, and the retreat by Carly popped up. So check it out. Now, I am going to say that I'll bet several of you have already heard of the newsstand. Their founder and creative director, Carly DeMarco, started the newsstand where she sends an actual newspaper to you each and every month. And it is called The Retreat, an analog ritual for creatives and creators. The Retreat print newspaper isn't really a newspaper. It's an offline ritual filled with all of the inspiration and none of the distractions. Designed for the ones who crave beauty, personal growth, and cherish moments to themselves. You can think of the Retreat as your must-have analog accessory that slows your scroll and speeds up your dreams. Our paper is here to help you expand, evolve, and create the life you want to live. Within each issue, you'll find inspiring interviews with founders and experts, articles, stories, practices, and prompts surrounding the theme of the issue to help you live a life of purpose and intention. In a digital world where everything is constantly grabbing for your attention, we invite you to take your blue light glasses off, put on a pot of coffee, slow down, and savor what's tangible. No reception needed. I love this. Let this be a reminder that you can disconnect to reconnect. And another thing I loved when I started listening to a podcast where Carly was interviewed, she was talking about the people she interviews and she referred to them as her muses. I thought that was so beautiful and so creative. And really, she just totally drew me in. So let's go over here on her website and look at the group that does this beautiful newspaper. Can you imagine getting this newspaper each and every month that filled you up so much that you were just so creative that you went out and did some really creative and beautiful things? But she has her editor in chief, head of creativity, columnist, a creative operations assistant, like I'm going to talk about today, how I cannot do a retreat without my operations assistant, and that is Nicole. When she works with me, or she always works with me, she helps me keep all of the operations organized and together because like I am crazy about lists and organizations, and she is right there with me. So I know what it's like to work with such a wonderful, committed person like her. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit later on. But look, she's got someone that covers the astrology. Someone that covers dating and relationships. Oh, and I love this because I want my own apothecary, but a gal Joanna Stepley, if I'm pronouncing her name right, who is all about herbalism. I want to follow her on Instagram immediately. And will do that right after the show. I'm going to go and follow all of these people on Instagram if they are on there, because I know a lot of them are into getting offline and not being so hooked up on Instagram. So this last gal, Body of Knowledge, she's a holistic health practitioner and yoga teacher, just like Carly. So Carly is Carly DeMarco. She is the what would you say, the headline of this group, and it struck me so beautifully when I was listening to her on this podcast and her journey and where she is with her business, this beautiful newspaper that she produces that goes worldwide and it is printed in France. So she has a team from all around the world, and I can only imagine how fun that is to work with because I work with people all around the world, so I know how fun that is. But honestly, what got me about this group of people as I looked at them was their age. They just filled my heart to know that younger women are so in tune with this type of living and with retreating. It took me late into my 40s to go on my first retreat, take time away for myself, and fill up so that I could give. Harley has an amazing charity that she does with children, and she's just a real influencer, if you ask me. She has recently sold her yoga studio, but yoga, I think, is what led her, if I understand correctly, to retreating. And they do offer retreats. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this first retreat that she has on her website. It's called Inner and Outer Exploration, Lake Atitlan. I know I'm not saying that right, in Guatemala, and this retreat is sold out, but actually it was in 2024, but it does such a beautiful job of showing what a retreat for a yoga studio might look like. So I thought you all would really enjoy looking at it. A few podcasts ago, we were reviewing a retreat center for sale in the same area on the same on this same lake, and I was drawn to it as soon as I saw it. And the website is really, really pretty. I actually, at the end, will show you how much that she's asking for this retreat, but I would have guessed quite a bit more, to tell you the truth. So the website is absolutely beautiful. The pictures are stunning, and you really get a good idea of where you're going to be. They talk about the experience. They show a picture of the retreat center and what it's like in the area. On May 4th, journey to the magical Mayan mountain of Lake Atitlan, Guatemala, for a 7-day journey of inner and outer exploration, designed to help you disconnect to reconnect with yourself, nature, and community. This retreat will be a transformative recalibration. Bask in the sun, bathe in fresh water, and soak in a new culture and breathtaking landscape. Enjoy daily yoga, meditation, breathwork, and creativity. Take part in traditional Mayan specialty ceremonies and explore the sacred land with local guides. Share deeply nourishing meals and conversations with a group of amazing and inspiring humans. Slow down to reconnect back with yourself and this beautiful world. So what is included? 7-night accommodations, daily yoga, breathwork, and meditation, daily journaling, self-exploration, and creative time, 3 healthy and delicious plant-based meals daily, a 1-hour massage, traditional Mayan spiritual ceremonies, a new moon ceremony, a guided hike, workshops on personal growth, spirituality, and wellness, a community of amazing and inspiring people, daily dips and sunbathing. Now that sounds Awesome. And unlimited use of pool and facilities like the lakefront hot tubs. Okay, now you're talking my lingo. So they go on to talk about the things that are not included, which is your normal thing like your alcohol, travel insurance, your airfare, and transportation. It says that we can help with this. So I usually like to have the transportation included if I can, but it's not a game changer, especially if they're gonna help you out with it. Sometimes it's just really hard to get everyone in the same van headed out to the retreat center, if you know what I mean. So then they go on to talk about the accommodations, which look like absolutely beautiful. It looks like it's on a hillside, and the dining room, everything looks beautiful. They talk about the food. They have pictures of the food and, they talk about snacks and nightcaps. So I don't think you're going to go hungry and it's going to be delicious. So that is one of my favorite parts of working with a retreat center on a retreat is that they are in charge of all of this hospitality and you can concentrate on your people. So on the website here, they are showing everyone in a circle having a ceremony and one picture of people sitting on the dock overlooking this gorgeous lake. And of course, a yoga studio, and it looks like maybe a little coffee area. Everything is designed in the local ethnic flair, which I love. That's always my favorite part of being in a different country. I want to know I'm in a different country, right? Tell me in the comments if you're the same way. I can't stand getting to, even though like I love Marriott and I try to stay at Marriott whenever I can, you never really know where you're at. They're just the same wherever you go. So these rooms look really, really pretty. They have beautiful floral bedding and all looks really comfy and cushy and nice floors and everything. So everything just looks really clean and nice. And then it goes on to talk about your hosts and traveling down there. And let's see if I can find the cost real quickly. I thought I did last time. You can inquire and they have a mood board. Okay. This is the first time on a retreat that I have seen a mood board. I think that's a great idea. I love that idea. What just really gets you an idea of what this is going to be like. What's nice is they have they have a triple occupancy, a double occupancy, and a single occupancy. So really, this is the type of retreat center I absolutely love, especially when considering the cost. For the triple, it's 2,100 USD. For the double, it's 2,499, so 2,500 USD. And for the single, it's 3,300 USD. I just think those are really good, affordable prices for an amazing getaway. I really doubt that for, say, the middle one, the $2,500, that you could go to Guatemala by yourself and get all of those amazing things that they are offering on this getaway for $2,500. And just not to have to be in charge of it, of course, is my favorite thing as far as retreating, to have someone doing daily yoga and breath work and meditation and having 3 delicious meals a day and getting a new moon ceremony and a 1-hour hike or a 1-hour massage and getting a hike and daily dips. Stop it. I'm totally in, and especially with this group of girls because they really sound like they are committed to your best and your creativity. I really think I want to sign up for that newspaper. I would love to sit on my porch with a cup of coffee and read it. Cooking. Now that we are done with retreat news and reviews, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's dive into what we are here to talk about today, and that is having an assistant on your retreat or getaway. So obviously you can hire a company like Bucket List Retreat, where we take care of the website, the marketing, and planning your dream getaway for you and your people. We deal with the venue, meals, and excursions. We handle the travel for you and your attendees, and of course, payments to and from all of those people. Or you can do it on your own. Most do, and I wouldn't stop you. And really, that is why I'm here to talk about it on the podcast so you can get ideas to really help you out. The first thing that I would say is to get some help. So if you're in a group of people who have already decided that they want to go on a trip, excellent. Half of your job is done. You don't have to worry about the people that are going on the trip. So saying, hey, I will do the planning and the organizing if you want, isn't really that hard. Or if you do own a yoga studio, or you are a coach, an artist, author, or an influencer, and you have been struck with the idea of a retreat, it's rang a little bell inside of you, you have been called. And like those girls that we were just looking at, as I have been reviewing retreats lately, I am so thrilled to see that there are so many out there for you to choose from if you are an attendee. So many people are working so hard to bring gorgeous retreats to the world. They are just out there waiting for you. But as everyone who has tried to turn their passion into a business knows, there are roadblocks out there. There are challenges, there are cancellations of attendees, of assistants, of venues, of excursions and transportation. You know, it's no different than any type of trip, but now you're in charge of a group. And that is where an assistant comes in. This is somebody that is going to have your back, and I'm going to talk about a few different scenarios with different type of assistants that I have seen or used in my own retreats that I think might help you out. You will probably see yourself in one of these situations, and hopefully some of the suggestions I make will help you out, because having an assistant is so nice, someone you can turn to and talk to during the whole process of organizing this retreat, so that the two of you know this retreat up one side and down the other. You know exactly what's going on. So it's not only you that is in charge of everyone that's going. They have someone else they can talk to if they don't see you when the question pops up. I hope one of these suggestions will fit for you and inspire you on how you can organize a retreat for you, and that will inspire you on how you can actually manage a getaway. These are usually really professional retreats, and some of the things that those people do when they are organizing a retreat is to hire a retreat center. You're not going to see these people cleaning rooms or making any of the meals on retreat. The retreat center is going to handle all of the hospitality, and the weight that takes off you when you are organizing a trip is absolutely huge, and it means that you can enjoy your time with the people that you're having on the trip. A lot of times on these type of retreats, they have built in 2 or 3 other facilitators on the trip so that you are not on 24 hours a day. You really can't do that if you are bringing a large group. So if you get a retreat center and get 2 or 3 people coming with you so that they can handle different parts of the retreat and give you some space, it really is helpful. You might have them have roles and requirements of being at every meal, going on every excursion, being in charge maybe every other night or every other morning while you're taking your break after a yoga class, say. I've been on several type of retreats where you don't actually see the muse or the person that the retreat is based on, except for in class. So if you have a class once a day, that is where you actually see them. Of course, they usually join on excursions and such, but they're not always 100% present. When it's free time, it's their free time as well. And personally, I kind of like this too. I don't always like being on as an attendee. I like some free time as much as the person that's putting on a retreat wants free time. So that is absolutely fine by me. Another way is to have like four different professionals come together and put on a retreat together. Those people each are in charge of bringing the same amount of people on the retreat. So they are going to be working just as hard in the marketing, and you break it out so that different people are in charge in different parts of the day during the retreat so that you have your free time. It really works out well. What you need to decide is how much they'll be working and how much of the profit they will be reaping. Are you splitting it four ways, or is two people in charge and the other people getting a paid amount to be on the retreat? There's all different ways of working it out, and whatever works out for your retreat is best. It doesn't always have to be set in stone. For example, I have brought photographers, yogis, artists, things like that on my retreat. And of course, the retreat is in charge of their transportation, their travel, their food, their room and board. Everything is included for those people, as well as the fee that they are charging to be on retreat. Now, they are getting a trip if you're going somewhere magnificent, like when I brought my photographer to Morocco. And of course, I wanted to let her know that she is not required to bring the camera 24 hours a day. But there were certain things that I wanted her to get pictures of, like me interacting with the venue, with the drivers, with the guides, with my attendees in different locations. So snap a few pictures of me and of the people, and you're done for that day. So you really want to get down to the nitty gritty about what you are expecting and what they are expecting so that there are no surprises. So, for example, this was a 10-day trip to Morocco, including the days that we flew in and the days that we flew out. It was 12 days. I needed to understand how she had the time to commit to that. So I needed her to explain to me how she was able to take that much time and go on this trip. I needed her to explain to me what would happen if she had to bail at the last minute for whatever reason after we had invested in a plane ticket and all of the plans with the ladies. For example, she offered a package to each and every attendee for pictures on the trip as well. So they didn't have to worry about having their cameras out and capturing all of the things they wanted to capture on the trip. They loved it. The pictures were magnificent and it worked out for everyone. But you want to think about all of the situations that you possibly can when you are hiring someone to go with you on retreat, especially if it's out of town, out of country. And it's really great to have those people because they are going to talk about it in their social media. They're going to promote the retreat. And of course, I always ask them to sign a good faith contract. Okay, next is friends renting an Airbnb. And of course, the number one thing is who is going to rent the Airbnb. Now, in my group of friends, we have traveled together for so long and we trust each other so much that we really are like, hey, who wants the miles? Who wants to rent the Airbnb? Everyone is game because we have nothing to worry about. We know that everyone that is coming is going to respect the rules of the Airbnb, and no one is going to be getting in any type of trouble because we've done anything wrong to the Airbnb. But if your group, say, likes to get drunk and get a little rowdy in your Airbnb, you want to think about it. Are you really the person that can handle that stress of are they going to take care of the Airbnb? And if no one wants to do it, that is when you when you're going back to the motels, the hotels, where everyone is getting a room, where people are doubling up and getting double rooms. And of course, there's the cooking and cleaning. And I think it was in the last podcast, we talked about how we went on a girls' trip and how we split up the group into three different groups. And they would do the cooking for this night. The next group would do the cooking for that night. And they all brought the ingredients. And so everyone didn't have to worry about it the whole time. Now, that is if you're going somewhere that's out of town. There's not restaurants to go to, which is one of our favorite things to do. So then you put someone in charge of making the reservation. And it's so nice, really, to split out all of the obligations for travel. Someone's in charge of the Uber, someone's in charge of this, someone's in charge of that. That way, you're not completely in charge of everything. So you don't really need an assistant. Everyone just knows that, hey, this girl's doing that, this girl's doing this, and it all gets taken care of. I have had huge luck with those type of trips. I highly recommend it. Find those friends who are interested in travel and at least get going for the weekend. My favorite is still the retreat centers. While I love a beautiful resort with, columns and marble tiles, I will take a retreat center, a cozy retreat center that treats us like kings and queens any day over a fancy hotel that doesn't cater to me and my people. We love going over there to their spas, though, so get a spa day. A retreat center that treats you like that is worth its weight in gold, and you will know that you are booking a good retreat center when you have a hard time getting in. If they are packed, there's a reason. But as far as picking your assistant, your right-hand person, your ride or die, I only have to look at my bestie's qualities to tell you what that person looks like. What was the number one thing about her? Her intention. She had the exact same intention as me, and that was to see the world with integrity and joy, to treat everyone on those trips with those two things. And when you see their excitement and know their commitment and their integrity, you know that you have found the right person. Look, nobody can be on 24 hours a day. Don't even try it. One thing that many retreat leaders do is plan a week off after their retreat, and they work it into the budget of their retreat. Now, I do take that on and try to plan at least 2 or 3 days after the retreat, often in another city. So, like, for example, when we left Egypt, we stopped for 2 days in London. It was so wonderful. And that is where I booked that magnificent room with my miles that I was talking about. We had so much fun those 2 days in London. Yes, I might be going on a city tour or looking at another retreat center, but I do try to get my rest in. And if you are smart, you already have systems in place for getting those emails to the attendees who were just with you on retreat, asking them to give you a review. And a lot of times you just get to sit in your beautiful hotel room watching those 5-star reviews come in. Retreaters, I hope you have enjoyed the discussion today all about retreat news, reviews, and having an assistant on retreat. Let me know in the comments if you are planning a retreat and if you are planning on taking someone with you. So everyone, I think we have made it today. The shadows have not yet got on my face. They're getting a little bit long back there, but I want to thank you again so much for being here today. And I hope you have enjoyed all of the discussion around retreating. Keep retreating, keep exploring, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. Can I get my whole body in this shot? I have been selling a lot of the sweatshirts on Etsy at bucketlistretreats.etsy.com. Go check it out, but not necessarily this style. What is this one? Don't talk to me. I'm on retreat. That's one of my favorite sweatshirts in my favorite color. Okay, what I want to talk about is size because I just had a lady who gave me a beautiful 5-star review, and I thank her so much. If she sees this, she'll know who she is because she loved the design of the sweatshirt that we did, and it was one of my Christmas market sweatshirts, but she was so unhappy with the size. So listen, everyone, I hate talking about my height and my weight because number one, my height, I've been losing height. Uh, but anyways, ordered an XL as well because I like a big roomy sweatshirt, but these are really, really big. So I am 5'6". I'm 170 pounds. This is an XL, and I definitely think I could have got just a large and been happy. Still had room to put a shirt on underneath. Um, Look at these arms. They go way under my hand. I have long arms and, bigger up in this area. Make sure that everyone is checking the sizes when you are ordering the sweatshirts or any of the shirts on the Etsy shop. Thank you so much for your orders. We love doing custom. So if you have a group that you want shirts for, let us know. We would be happy to do that for you. Or if you are doing some winter traveling, check out all of the fun different travel t-shirts we have at the Etsy shop. Thank you, everybody.
Gonna find a new beginning in all that's come and gone. Say goodbye to cloudy Mondays, say goodbye to rain. I'll hold you in my arms until we both feel safe again. Somewhere I know there's a silver lining. Somewhere I know the light is shining through. We'll keep on searching up in the gray sky. Somewhere I know there's a patch of blue. Sometimes it can be hard to see beyond the distant past, but we can't walk forever on this broken glass. I know that you've been hurt before, and baby, so have I. We gotta learn to keep on living, learning to survive. Somewhere